Well, hello and welcome to the Points of Interest podcast. This is the most generic podcast on the internet. My name is Josh Hawks. I am the 303 Ninja. And right over there, he is my podcasting partner for life. He is the other guy, Mr. Typing as fast as he can, Francis Fernandez.
Today is the day that Tony Stark sacrificed his life to save the MCU from a villain known as Thanos.
Really?
This is apparently the day that he dies during Endgame.
Oh, like in story.
This is the date, October 17th, 2023 is the day that Tony Stark snaps his fingers and saves the current Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Nice.
So, thank you, Iron Man.
Nice little caveat in there. The current.
Yeah.
MCU.
Thank you for saving us, Iron Man.
Yeah. Thanks.
It's just weird that people know that. Like, I didn't know that. Like, who knew the date? It's not like they had like a calendar.
Probably Hallmark.
Oh.
I'm just taking.
You get oh man, Hallmark. You know what? Well, here's the thing about Hallmark that weirds me out because we're quickly like a lightning bolt heading towards the holidays. But Hallmark always has like the nerdiest of tree ornaments, which always weirds me out because I don't see nerds going to Hallmark and buying Christmas tree ornaments. I don't know why I don't see that. I just don't though.
I'm not a big tree decorator type person. I mean, it's cool. Okay. I mean, I like seeing a decorated tree. I'm just not really one to decorate one myself. Sure. I mean, I do it, but it's just like, it's cool, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. I've never actually. I'm trying to think. Have I ever purchased anybody a Christmas ornament? I know as a child, I definitely made Christmas ornaments. But as an adult, have I given anybody like a? Nope, I can't think. No, I think I actually gave Savanna a Christmas ornament.
Oh, did you really?
I believe I did one year. I could be wrong.
Oh,
there's been a lot of gifts
I know
that I've given her over the years, and like only like a couple of them have been winners. Some of them have just been completely off and the wrong thing. All kinds of stuff.
Well, I mean, you need to give her a new one at least, right? I think.
Yeah. I mean,
for particular events that happen in life, for big events.
Yeah, she got a haircut. No. So some people that have been, with us for a while now, or keeping score. We used to have a female co-host on here for a little while. Her name was Savanna. Her name is Savanna. It's not like she's dead or anything. Yeah. Just married.
Quite the opposite, actually.
Right. But it was it early this spring or late last year? Late last year, maybe middle of last year. I can't remember when she kind of fell off.
It was early, it was sometime last year. Yeah.
Yeah. She started. It was solid for a while, and started becoming sporadic, and we weren't sure entirely why at first, but it turns out there was a new beau in her life that was taking up a lot of her interest, time, and love, and so much so. So, and it was awesome. I'm upset that we weren't able to attend because it would have been awesome to see the surprise happen, before us, but. Savanna and her husband arranged a costume party of some sort, and everybody that attended showed up in costume. And once they got there, Savanna and her dude announced that it was actually a wedding. And so they had a costume, some sort of costume themed wedding, but they had eloped apparently a while ago. And kept it secret.
Bold move, Cotton.
Yeah, so congrats to Savanna and her dude, who I don't recall his name right now.
It's all right.
It's fine.
We never really, you know.
We never
he was in
we never
chat,
met the
like, a
guy
couple
either.
of times.
Yeah.
And we never met the guy either. Yeah.
But big time congrats to the two of them. I hope they're happy with their dogs and all their love and all that.
Yeah.
Would have been cool to be there. Would have been cool.
It seems that you and I, sir, are at that age where all of our friends will either marry or remarry.
Right.
Or something. I'm noticing more and more people of whom were lamenting their singleness, getting into relationships, and like we have a particular mutual who just refuses to stop posting pictures of he and his new girlfriend. I'm like, good for you. I'm glad, but boy, oh boy, does he post a lot of pictures of himself and his girlfriend? Like,
I'm on board.
Yeah.
Took me a second, but yeah.
Yeah.
No,
it's not me being
not being cynical or anything like.
Yeah.
I think
it's just like it's really funny.
I love seeing it. Any time
it's great.
I'm not a big poster on the social medias as of late. If something,
you kind of are.
If something happens,
you kind of are.
If something happens, I'll post about it. But more often than not, recently, it's just been about events that me and the lady go to. So it's basically the same shot because that's the only picture we know how to take. I go through my photo roll or whatever you call that, and it's like every picture I see of the two of us, there's always like a bird
every single time.
Yeah, we're always on the same side of each other for the most part. Same look on our faces. I mean, I have tried to make different faces, but all of them are goofy. So I'm just glad.
Nothing wrong with that, man.
I'm just glad I date an attractive girl, so somebody that walks by that sees us goes, man, how does that work? I just want that to be
I feel like that's more becoming a thing where it's like there really is this weird disparity on men and women coupling, where often guys find themselves dating out of their quote unquote out of their league. And it seems to be on the regular. Like I think every guy friend I know, no offense to them, but y'all aren't, Brad Pitt or George Clooney.
No,
right? Y'all are just regular dudes.
Mm-hmm.
And the ladies that y'all are attached to are pretty good looking. Like, well done, bravo, to you all for that accomplishment.
Any time when it's come to dating and you look at it that way, like going outside of my, what do you call that?
Your box? I don't know.
Outside of your
league?
Yeah, out of your league. Like you're down in the minor league. You're not even minor league. You're fucking triple A. Right?
Yes, right.
I'm triple A. I've always, aimed for major leaguers. I could barely hit the ball. No, that's not a very good analogy.
That's weird. Yeah, that's
I don't look like much, but I can hit home runs in different ways.
But it just proves that I associate myself with a lot of guys with great personalities. Like I am very fortunate that my male friends and acquaintances all seem to have like very winning personalities. None of them are dicks. None of them are assholes. Like that I know of.
Right. I mean, everybody has the potential.
Right. Everyone has potential, but not some. I mean, but again, like it's not like, there's not like anything wrong with you guys because there's legitimate good relationships and legitimate good people who are like getting together, and it's like that's really nice to see. I'm really glad. Like.
Back in the day,
at least proves that I don't know an asshole. What? Go on.
Back in the day, I was living with a girl, and people were like, "Dude, she's so out of your league. How?" And I'm just like, nah, "What do you mean how? Don't. That's a stupid question." And yes, I realize that she's way out of my league, and it's awesome. And we got a house and everything. I told the girl that I'm dating now when I first met her. There's a bit of an age discrepancy between the two of us, and I just told her immediately. I was like, "Hey, I don't know what your aim or goal here is, but like, I ain't got no money, like, so I'll never be your sugar daddy. Like, I'm like your wish daddy, like I'm not your first choice, but I'm always there for you."
So I've been YouTube has been suggesting to me, maybe because they all know I'm the last single guy amongst my friend group, but like they've been suggesting to me a lot of like dating-esque like shorts and stuff. And while some of them are pretty mean, they're like, oh, all women want are this, that, and the other thing. A lot of them are women who are like, money isn't that big. I don't need someone with a lot of money. I just want someone who cares about me, blah, 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 blah. Like a lot of like reasonable expectations for their man, while online dating continues to be, 6-pack, 6 figures, 6 inches. Like that's 6 feet. Like those are the 4 6s that is expected of you, right? On dating websites, on dating apps, but like in the real world, that expectation isn't there, and it's really nice. it's so nice to kind of see. So
yeah, and the wish daddy thing, that's not the term I use, but I couldn't think of it what I used at the time. It's like a sugar daddy, and then I was like, I'm like a what's the fake sugar stuff called? Not even fake, but like the alternative sugars.
Oh, like a Splenda, or like
that's the one. Thank you, Francis. I was like, I'm your splendid daddy. Not your first choice, but I'm there for you.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
it's fucked up.
Which is not a bad thing. Well, here's the thing. And she's there, right? Like,
yeah.
So, it's not like they're going anywhere. So, I mean, it's fun to see the kind of growing in, everyone's getting, I hate to say this, but everyone's getting older, and everyone's kind of, doing their own thing. And it's nice to see nobody's like the rest of the internet, everyone's kind of panicking. And I'm not talking about like old news stuff. I'm just talking about in their own lives. Like in their own lives, everyone's kind of panicking, or everyone's kind of like down on their life. And like nothing ever good is ever going to happen. And it's nice to see positive things happening to everyone else. It's like, yes, good, as it should be.
No, for sure. I mean,
like hey, we're at 48 followers.
And all we need is 2 before we hit the next milestone, which is.
Did we mention
2000.
Did we mention Billy 517? Did we mention?
We haven't actually. So yeah, big shout out to our newest follower from 14 days ago. 14 days ago, Billy 517. Thanks, Billy. Were you born on May 17th?
Maybe that's his area code.
517. I mean, it's possible, right?
Yeah,
Billy from the 517. Doesn't roll off your tongue very well though, but it could work. But thanks.
We have a lot of numbers.
But yeah, tell 2 of your friends to check us out. There's a dude at work that was asking about it, and I was like, well, you could totally find it if you just if you really wanted to. I'm not going to tell you how to find it, but if you like just look my name up on the internet, you'd probably find it.
All right.
Well, because
I forgot what happens when I tweet. Let me Google your name.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it does or not, but I'm not going to tell somebody that I work with exactly what it is. Like I like having that separation. What's going to come up first is the European soccer player who apparently was pretty good in his day or currently.
Yeah.
And then next is going to come
born
up.
in 99.
Okay, so currently. So then there's also an actor with the same name. But I bet you if you put in podcast after my name,
there's also a judge named after you.
Oh, that's rad.
Yeah.
Is it illegal to impersonate a judge?
Oh, this. Okay. This is weird. Okay. So, when you look it up, it looks like the first thing that comes up is an elegant weapon.
Okay. Well, he's
so
got better. He's got
an elegant weapon.
He's got better SEO than I do.
Well, yeah. Then, this is up to date. Amazon Prime has it on Audible.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's the second one is Amazon Prime. Mm-hmm. So even though it still says Savanna on there.
Oh well.
Savannah's name is still in the description.
Something to change, I guess. But you know, I think it's still on the main feed. I think it's her name's still on there.
Yeah.
But yes. I won't tell the people I work with what the name of the show is because I got to have some sort of separation. But you know, I told them if you really want to find it, you could find it.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we've not talked about anything on this list so far, which is fine. I don't know where to start here. So I've been rewatching Smallville, and it kind of made me start thinking about when I first started podcasting. How I got to that part of podcasting was listening to a Heroes and Smallville podcast. So I checked in. So I wonder if there's any new episodes to the Smallville podcast, even though Smallville premiered 22 years ago this past Sunday. There are new episodes.
By the way, yo, Ginger.
Oh, yes.
There you go. She said yo, so I had to say yo.
So this podcast started in the 5th or 6th season. But their numbering was like 103 or 105 was their first episode, and it threw me off. And their newest episodes are actually going through the seasons they didn't cover originally.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, well, that's awesome because I just watched some of these episodes, so I'm going to go ahead and listen to these. It was great hearing the voices, that I listened to originally that got me to do this. And I'm not any better than I was when I started. And they're so good.
Okay, yeah.
No, but sure. It was cool. It was really cool to hear some of the, the old voices that I was like, think back to your first, couple podcasts that you ever listened to that you listened to a lot of episodes of. And they're the people's personalities and, how much fun they were having doing this podcasting thing. And, some of their old shows were, AAR, was that what it was called? Advanced.
Oh, the
advanced audio recording or something like that, or where like you can embed pictures into the audio.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
When you were on your iPod video or whatever,
your 1.5 inch screen,
yeah, and the little picture would pop up, and you'd have to sit there and squint your eyes and try and see whatever the hell they were trying to talk about, some blurry, detailed thing on the screen.
I watch a lot of TV on my iPod video. So
well, then
I'm used to, so I know. Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool, and so the reason I even wrote it down to begin with, there was a episode I just watched with. It was a Trading Places episode, or like a body swap episode. I guess that's a better way to put it. Body swap, where it's too convoluted, but
You don't have to explain it.
Yeah,
You know?
but John Glover, everybody knows and loves John Glover. John Glover was on the show. He played Lex Luthor's dad.
Lionel Luthor, yeah.
Lionel Luthor. And in this episode, Clark and Lionel switch bodies. Doesn't matter why. Mm-hmm. But John Glover did such a good job at playing Clark Kent, at being Tom Welling. And then the opposite was also true. Tom Welling did such a great, almost creepy job at being Lionel. Because in the storyline, Lionel had a crush on Clark's mom.
Oh, geez.
So, like, he gets a hug from his mom, and he, like, you know, it's just super creepy. And it's because it's Lionel, it's not Clark. And I tweeted at them because I was like, oh, holy shit, this is so good. I'm like, I'm fully invested in this episode. Yeah, I'd forgotten how good John Glover of an actor John Glover is.
Oh yeah, he's great. Yeah, I think I've loved him in everything he's been in. So yeah, he's aces. And Tom Welling hasn't really done anything since Smallville, so you know he's just enjoying his residuals. He's just enjoying the fact that, well, I was gonna say he's making money from you rewatching, but that's actually not true.
Yeah, right.
That's why SAG is still.
He has a podcast with Michael Rosenbaum. Bloom.
Yeah. Rosenbaum. Yeah.
Rosenbaum, who played Lex, and they're going through the episodes, and I think they have the scripts and everything.
Rosenbaum has a couple. I think has a couple of podcasts. Like he talks to celebrities all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I mean, it's just cool going back and watching it. It's kind of like going back and watching Buffy, where the first few seasons are rough because it's all high school angst. But at least with Smallville, it was October 2001 when it started. So a month after. That's funny because they just mentioned it in that podcast. It was a month after 9/11, roughly.
Wow.
And what they were saying on the podcast is like, I remember 22 years ago that, you know, after a month of just watching basically the news, it was nice to have something else to watch, something to distract you from the reality of what was going on.
Yeah, and it's a superhero show, and the song is, you know, very positive and like, you know, just yeah.
Remy Zero was the name of the band that did the theme song. Save Me, yeah. And I also forgotten on that show how much fucking new rock is on that show. Like, the WB did not pinch pennies on that show. Like, they hired all the prettiest young people in Hollywood to play all the important people. Even the non-important people, they hired super pretty people. They had an amazing budget for what it was. And yeah.
That's kind of the gimmick of WBCW was, if we're ever going to do a show, it always has to have the most attractive people possible. And that's what they did in every kind of show that they've ever put up. It's always like supermodel-esque, both male and female supermodel-esque looking looking people. It's like, oh.
I don't give a fuck what their letter lineage is. There'll always be the WB.
Yeah.
I don't know what a CW is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think it's Comcast Warner. I think that's what CW stands for.
Right. But like, you know, it's like you could forget UPN because that was, I mean, it wasn't as cool as the WB.
Oh, CBS Warner Brothers. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, no WB. Well, because WB is Warner Brothers. You know,
right?
The WB is very iconic.
You had the Frog. You had all that. That was when all the great cartoons came out. It was during the WB era.
I mean, they rebooted Animaniacs for 2 seasons and Tiny Toons for a season. I don't know if they're doing more than one season of Tiny Toons, but they have new Tiny Toons and new Animaniacs. Like, it's pretty crazy.
They have new Tiny Toons?
They have brand new Tiny Toons. Yeah,
Where?
streaming somewhere. I don't remember where it's streaming.
Well,
but
don't
it's
bring information like this without
okay, sorry,
telling me.
I'll look it. I'll look it up. Yeah.
I just redid my Hulu subscription. Well, I did because they gave it to me free for a month. Thus, why I'm watching Smallville. Because I'm like, I think I could watch 10 seasons in, 30-ish days. I think that's possible.
So it's called Tiny Toons Luniversity. It is on Cartoon Network.
Okay.
So if you ever want to
Luniversity?
Luniversity.
All right. I will look it up and I will report back on it.
And it just came out. It came out last month. The brand new episode came out last month on HBO Max or Cartoon Network.
Okay.
So it's,
well, I will give myself homework and we will go into it with no expectations and as open as an eye as possible. It's hard. New animation's hard, man. I haven't brought myself to watch the new Futurama.
I hear it's awful.
The new Animaniacs.
Oh yeah.
I fired up the Hulu and I was like, well, I can watch Smallville. So let's start there. Let's start there. And
well, it's reliable because you know it as an entity, but I don't know anything about Tiny Toons University or Animaniacs. I don't know if they're good. I hope they are.
That's all you can hope
like
for.
Rick and Morty.
I mean, that's all
Rick
people can hope for, going forward with that show because, the original version of it is no longer with Sunday's premiere of the new season of Rick and Morty debuted the.
I have no idea.
I think it was on Sunday.
Yeah.
Debuted the 2 new voice actors playing Rick and Morty. I have their names.
Good.
Ian,
I know they were going to review
it. Rick and Morty. So Ian Cardoni. I want to say that's his name. Cardoni. And Harry Belden. Belden. I can't read my own handwriting. Probably should have slowed down a little bit. I didn't watch the new episode, so I can't comment. And most of my Rick and Morty viewing, I haven't really sat and watched it. It's been on while people are chit chatting or I'm doing something else. So I haven't sat down and watched it. The ones that I have sat down and I'm like, oh, this is a fucking weird ass cartoon. It's fun, But I think I was watching it and there's a cyborg version of the daughter. Or a space version of the daughter or the mom, one of the two, and she just shows up. There's no backstory or anything. Okay, character's just here, part of the story now. So I don't have any real connection or ties. So I mean, it makes no difference to me who's there. Apparently, though, the charges that Justin Roiland, is that how you say it?
Yes.
The charges that were brought against him for domestic violence, I believe, were dropped. But they were dropped after Cartoon Network fired him.
Yes.
So, yeah, I don't have an ending to that part of the story, but
there's no ending. It's still ongoing. I mean, people are either upset that Justin didn't go back to reprise his role, or they're like, well, such is life. Type of deal. It's like, what are you going to do?
I mean, do they not replace characters and actors and actresses on TV shows all the time?
Well, think about one of the shows. I don't know if this was mentioned or if I'm just recalling what you said pre-show, but Futurama.
Mm-hmm.
So people were upset that they were potentially going to change Bender's voice to a different actor because the actor who wanted to play Bender wanted more money, and he's like, "I'm not going back if you don't pay us well or whatever."
Us as the whole team. as all the voice actors.
Yeah. It wasn't just him.
Not just him. He was trying.
Whole...
He fought for more money for everybody. But yes, go on.
Yeah. So obviously, for them, for the Futurama people, I don't think they would have been happy if any of those characters got changed up.
Mm-hmm.
Scott Pilgrim, my favorite movie next to Jurassic Park, is getting an anime remake on Netflix out in November. It's going to be expanded as opposed to just a single movie. It's going to be expanded to all the books, so you get more story, you get more everything. But the entire original cast from the movie are reprising their roles as the characters in the anime.
So that,
which is great.
To me, that makes it canon. Even if it isn't, but it kind of like there's a new Buffy podcast that has like half the Buffy cast is on it, or they're like reading scripts, or it's a podcast. I'm not sure which it is, but like Emma Caulfield is on it, so that's Anya, and I think Giles is on it as well. And one other character. I can't remember who it is. I'm here. You can't hear me probably because
Willow.
No. Oh, I thought you said hello.
No, Willow. Willow.
I was like, no, I'm here.
No, Willow.
I don't. Maybe. But So.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know why I brought that. Why did I bring that up? What'd you say?
Well, you brought it up because I was saying how all the original voice actors.
Yeah, that's why.
Back to all these different roles.
Yeah, so that makes it canon. So I don't know if that Buffy thing, if they're reviewing things or if they're reading unused scripts. But to me, that's like mostly a canon podcast.
Yeah. So for Rick and Morty, having different people based on the, I mean, we'll see how it does. I have a funny feeling it's not going to do as well. I think people care more about even the people who hate. It lost the people who hate on Justin Roiland anyway, or justifiable or not. I mean, I don't know. He was never he was never convicted of anything bad.
Right. And as I've made it pretty fucking clear, I ain't judging anybody officially.
Right. So everything that happened to him is alleged. We don't know for sure because he's never been. It's never been proven in court or whatever.
The greatest word ever.
Which one? Alleged?
Yeah, I love it.
Okay. So him not being the voices of those characters, I think is a big deal. And I think people are going to be like, well, I don't really care about this show anymore. Because it doesn't have the guy that made the show what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Like people feel like the new voice actors, even though I think Morty is pretty spot on, the common thing I keep hearing about Rick is like, he doesn't sound insane enough, or he doesn't sound crazy. He just sounds like some dude doing a voice, which, okay. I mean, that's, sure. Well, like,
I mean, who's this, what, I mean, I think what the people are, and I'm not even one to say anything because I don't have much of a fucking vocabulary, but like maybe it's missing the heart, the soul of the character.
Yeah.
I mean, you can sound just like Howard Cosell, but that don't mean that you are. Why would I? Who's doing Howard Cosell fucking imitations these days?
Nobody.
Yeah. Well, okay. I couldn't think. I'm high, motherfucker. What do you want?
It's all good. I'm not saying anything.
I know. I'm just talking.
You're beating yourself up over this.
Yeah.
So that's unfortunate.
It is. I mean,
it is or it isn't. I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, it on all accounts, right? Yeah. If there was some domestic violence, that sucks. If you were charged with some domestic violence and it didn't happen, that sucks. You got fired, so that sucks. Yeah. The cartoon loses all its fan base and goes away. That sucks too because people lose their jobs. Yeah. I don't know. I haven't watched it. Like I said, I have no real tie to it, so it doesn't really matter to me. But if the voices are way off, then that's that's a sunk ship for me. It's kind of like,
apparently it's pretty close.
you know, when you're watching cartoons, you're watching Tom and Jerry.
Mm-hmm.
You may not have such a violent response to it like I do, but you're watching cartoons. You're watching, and they're all the classics. They're like the 40s, early 50s Tom and Jerry's. Animation's really good, music's good. And then it fades into the next cartoon, and you see the lion get replaced with Tom's head, and he's snarling and making cat noises. And you have to find the remote and change the channel, because Chuck Jones, as much as I love the guy and he kicks ass at making Looney Tunes, he sucked at making Tom and Jerry. Yeah, right. You just got to find it. What was the analogy I was trying to make with that? I'm lost in my own shit, man.
That's okay, man.
It's okay. Right. It doesn't matter.
Look,
Tom and Jerry.
You have a lot going on in your head.
Yeah. All the time. I got work stuff over here. Life over here.
I think your overall point is, stick to, the originals will always have a special place in people's hearts.
I think that's
any type of remake or any type of, when they switch characters, when they switch.
There's talk of another Charlie and the Chocolate Factory storyline. Willy Wonka, Charlie, that whole thing. Like, do we need?
Well, I mean, they're already doing the Wonka movie, so yeah.
So I guess so that's what it is. Like, do we need another movie? We got the kind of let's take the story and kind of go a little exaggerated in a family fun kind of way with Gene Wilder, and then let's remake the movie. Let's stick closer to the book and make a movie that nobody understood at all, but Johnny Depp was fucking having a great time, so that's all that mattered. And Deep Roy got paid for all the duplicates of himself.
Yeah, right. Right.
That'd be awesome if that were the case. If he got paid for all the duplicates they made of him.
Well, they better, right? Because he did play he technically played multiple characters.
He played all the Oompa Loompas.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, he played multiple characters. But the new one, Wonka, is a prequel to the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Nope, I'm out. Nope.
What, you don't want to see Hugh Grant as a Oompa Loompa?
Hugh Grant. Isn't Hugh Grant fucking 6 feet tall? Well, maybe he was at one point. He's all old and decrepit now, so probably not.
He's tall. He's been in movies where they show his height, but in this one, yes, they shrink him down to the size of an Oompa Loompa.
No.
And he's an Oompa Loompa.
Can't they call him I know there's a lot of people that would love to be an Oompa Loompa.
There's a lot of people who want to be dwarves in Snow White and the Seven Dwarves, and look at how things are now. So
upsetting.
Little people are just not getting the job done, apparently. Sorry, little people.
Yeah, that sucks. List Rick and Morty. So new stuff has come out, Francis. New stuff has come out.
Okay. Yes.
It's new phone season.
It is new phone season.
Well, I mean, every month really is new phone season, but recently the iPhone 15 Pro Max EX Alpha came out, and it actually has titanium in it. I don't know if it's,
it does.
grade 5 titanium, but it definitely has titanium in it.
I don't know. I don't know, but yes, it does have titanium, though.
That's pretty crazy that it actually has real titanium in it, because that shit ain't cheap.
No, it isn't. But iPhone's never been known for being cheap, so
that is true as well. And they have included the C port charger, USB-C on the new phone there.
Yes,
something us Android people have been living with for years. And then on the other hand, you got Google that just released its new Pixel line of the 8 and 8 Pro. Also, with my phone wants to update to Android 14, which doesn't sound as fun as gingerbread ice cream sandwich or lollipop.
Oh yeah, we went through those names last episode, so that was fun. Yeah.
So they just came out with their new phones, and it's the Pixel's always supposed to have been the iPhone of Android, and it never will be. They just they're the big feature on the 8 Pro this year, aside from having a flat screen as opposed to curved glass.
Yes.
On the back, along with its amazing array of cameras, is a thermometer sensor that you can thermometate things, but not humans. So, like, if you want to know how hot your coffee is, you can thermometate that. That's not a word.
Sure.
Or like, I wonder how cold the freezer is. You can check that with the sensor on the back of the phone. But
all very useful information. Yes.
Yeah. Maybe a few years ago.
Well,
if it can scan humans, it'd be really useful. But like, if you tell me that the beverage that you're giving me is cold, I'm going to believe it. I don't need to thermometate it.
Sure.
I don't know. Am I going to get the Pro phone still? Yeah, probably. But
well, look, I mean, you can only upgrade a phone so much before you run out of things to upgrade on a phone, right?
But
what else are you going to do to it?
We're at the plateau of phone technology again, though. If you think about it,
right.
What can you improve? The interior chip. You can give more RAM. You can get more optimal with your OS and how you consume power and everything else. And camera sensors. Glass. I think we hit the pinnacle of glass until sapphire becomes ultra cheap. If we could just start embedding sapphire into normal ass glass, like it's a normal thing, instead of just what Apple had the sapphire watch and phone, right? iPhone, there's an iPhone sapphire screen or something. It had some sapphire in it, but the Mohs,
I don't know.
The Mohs scale of hardness said differently. So I mean, like, what else? I mean, yeah. So foldables are becoming a thing. So we've that's what I'm saying. We've hit a plateau. So where do we go? We go back down the hill we just climbed for the last 20 years, and let's revisit foldable phones.
Well, we're on that roller coaster ride of what do we do with the phones? Because for a while it was, we want our phones to be bigger. The bigger, the better. Bigger phones. Make the screen the size of
it's because you were able to watch porn on your phone.
Right. I mean, you still can.
Well,
but
yeah, that's what I'm saying though. Like once technology out of the point where like, hey, we can manufacture cheap phones, or cheap screens for these phones and make them huge. People are like, hell yes, man, I could watch porn on them.
So now we're going back because we want foldable phones now. Now we're like, let's make them small but big. So they start off small and then you fold them into something big. So let's do that. So now we're going on that side of the roller coaster.
I think folding phones are going to be just a longer lived fad than the wraparound screen was. Remember that one?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: they
wrapped all the way around the phone.
I mean, they did that for like a second, and then they stopped.
Yeah, there was like two phones that did that. But.
Yeah, there's like two phones that did the little wraparound. There's like, look, you can see notifications on the side of your phone.
No, there was a phone that the entire outside of the phone was a screen.
That's what I mean. Like, okay. But it's curved down into the bezel of the phone too. Like it curved.
Well, I do remember that. I think that was a Galaxy, where you can get like the curved screen notifications.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, great, I guess. So, there's those little things like that where it's like, yeah, that's cute, but I don't think anyone. Yeah, I don't know what. I don't know. I feel like the next big thing is when when your phone, their glasses. I think that's it. I think the next thing is it's going to be your glasses. It's going to be something where it's wearable, is because it's in your pocket. It's easy to steal. It's easy to kind of lose. So you want it to be the next big innovation is make it so that it's always on you all the time, and you never don't have it.
Right.
And I think that's going to be some type of wearable, whether it's a watch, even though they already kind of have the watch, but or glasses or something. But it has to be something where you don't ever take it off and it's always on you.
Kind of like this show, Francis, to our new follower.
Yes.
Flo Hosen.
Oh, hey, thank you.
So thanks for the follow. And, there's a backstock of shows you can watch. So we're here all the time for you.
Wow, that was very nice of you. We're so close.
So close.
We're so close.
Tell your friends. What were you saying? I got distracted because in my ears I get an audio thing. I think
auto cue.
Yeah, I think it goes out to the whole world. You just don't hear it.
I don't hear it because I only hear the Discord. I don't have the Twitch on.
Yeah.
One more,
friends. But yeah, so my thing that I really loved on phones that I wish they kept was the IR blaster.
Oh yeah.
I used to love going into places and turning TVs off. It was great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember that. Used to have it on watches too. Used to have it on a bunch of stuff.
I mean, but that was useful because there was a few times where I was actually able to change the channel on my TV or turn it off with my phone. That was rad. Yeah, I don't know what's next. There's probably apps for that, like garage doors.
They already, Apple is making the iPhone 15 like, this is your new system, your gaming system. You don't need to buy a PlayStation or an Xbox. You just play your video games on your phone. Sure, your phone will essentially explode if it overheats, but whatever.
Don't worry, we got
a block of ice.
We have a MagSafe fan for that.
They do. Oh my God, they do.
Oh,
I saw somebody who.
Of course they do.
I saw somebody who's like, hey, I'm gonna play, XYZ video game on this thing, like something that's on the modern system, and they're like, but I have to attach a fan, to attach this and this, so that it stays charged, and I'm like, that's a lot of work for playing your video game on your phone.
Yeah, to get
that's kind of cool, I guess.
You have to get like a double pass through because it'd have to be like power and audio.
Yeah, it'd have to be power audio. Well, it'd have to be power audio and video, right? So it's going to have to charge as well as connect to a TV. And it's like, great.
I recently purchased, and I don't even, it's so late in the cycle of this phone to be purchasing any new cases for it.
Sure.
But like a few months ago, I bought just a generic MagSafe ring to attach to the back of the case, and I was like, okay, it kind of works. Doesn't really charge on a wireless thing though, like a MagSafe charger. This is also before I figured out that the Google 6 has issues wireless charging. But I recently got a MagSafe compatible case, and I could stick it to everything, which is pretty fresh, like anything metal,
nice.
Does it charge wirelessly? Not really. I think this phone just has, I think I have a battery issue as well, but this phone in particular just does not like to charge wirelessly unless it's laying down. If it's at an angle of any sort, it's like, nope. Even though I'm attached to these, Nidium powered magnets, nope. It's not enough power to suck it to the back of the phone.
Sure.
But it's nice having a new case, I guess, especially when it has a built-in magnet, so it's not sticking to anything. It's not protruding, even though it's really low profile.
Yeah.
You know, when you have twitchy hands and they're in your pockets a lot, you don't want to start picking at something that you could peel off the back of your phone case, you know.
Yeah, no, you don't want that. You don't want that. No.
You don't want that. You don't want that at all. You know what you also don't want, Francis?
What's that?
It's even hard to say it, Francis. You're at a Comic-Con. You're having a great time.
I am.
You're at the Javits Center. That's still under construction. It has been since it began construction in, I think, 1910.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never been to New York. But you're having a great time. You're seeing all your friends that you haven't seen in a while. Maybe you're down from another country. You don't get down from the Canadas that often. You know, you fly across the country from wherever you might be. You're hanging out in Artist Alley, and you just met Joel Adams. I don't even know if he was there. And you're geeked. He just signed some stuff for you. You're a huge King of the Hill fan, and you're like, he just signed all this stuff, all these prototype stuff that I've procured over the years, and this and that.
Sure.
And you're walking out of the autograph section of New York Comic Con, and you're like, let me get out of this Javits Center and find me a cab and go put my Spidey hood on and go save somebody. And you slip on some shit and fall and break your neck.
Goodbye.
That didn't happen. Well, not all of it didn't happen. New York Comic Con definitely happened. People stood in lines for all kinds of shit, including autographs. One person stood in line for an autograph for too long, and while exiting the autograph section, just kind of did the stank leg and let some shit fall out of his pants and walked off. Now, that's
amazing.
It's unconfirmed.
Sure.
The age of the pooper. Mm-hmm. But there was confirmed shit on the floor of the Javits Center at New York Comic Con. And in the back of my head, Francis, I went, well, it is New York.
Yes.
So I'm not surprised.
No one will argue with that.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
And over the years, especially of the last 12, that, you know, we have been involved in the community.
Yes.
We've seen some things. We've been in the community while things have happened. We've been in a building where a gun was brought in.
Yes.
A real one.
Yes.
At none of those places, in none of those years, at least reported, has anybody stank-legged some shit out of their pants and just kept walking. Now, like I said, it could have been a child. We don't know this. They didn't. Sure. The reports on the DNA and makeup of the feces has not been reported to the public.
Yeah. Right. Yes.
At least so far. You know, right. I think personally, if I did the stank leg and I successfully got away with it, you know, as far as like letting shit fall out of my pants and do the poop walk all the way and nobody say anything to me, and then find out about it, and then they like did some DNA and they're like, "So this is Josh Honk's shit." I'd be like, "Yo,
what?
That was me."
Right.
I am the proud pooper there. Mm-hmm. Yes, the lines were too long. I couldn't wait. I was so excited.
I mean, right.
It just happened.
Yeah. Again, what else are you going to do, right? You're in the middle of a crowded area, people all around you. I'm certain it was so crowded, in fact, that you could probably drop the deuce and not really. I mean, because people are used to terrible smells at conventions too, like body odor and
right.
like, yeah. So so someone could have gotten away with like just dropping the kids off in the middle of the. Not the pool, but in the middle of a convention, and getting away with it because everyone is looking up and out very few people
That
are
is
looking
true.
down
That is
at
true.
their feet.
That is true.
So, and most conventions, especially now that they're back, the crowds are bigger. You know, people are just not paying attention. So it's easy to get away with it, intentional or not. Which it sounds like it wasn't intentional, but
I mean, I'm trying to have some fun with it, but I mean, like, you know, it sucks if somebody had an issue. You know, I mean, I'm quick to jump on the rest of the bandwagon that, you know, some geek, some nerd, fucking lost it.
the fear. Yeah.
Logically,
Yeah.
it was probably a kid, and
Maybe.
the parents were like, "Oh shit," literally, and stormed off.
Or maybe they didn't even notice it until like they're like walking with their kid. The kid just somehow, even though, I mean, it depends on the age of the kid too. Because man, to be able to slide it down your leg means that you have to have some pretty like. I think
Right.
it's an adult. I think it's an adult. I think an adult.
I mean,
did it.
I'm trying to, you know, give
Totally an adult.
give the adults, you know, the benefit of the doubt, but no,
No, it was
you're
an
probably
adult.
right. You're probably
Totally
right.
an adult. Some dude or lady just had the fear, and they're like, "Well, I'm not gonna make it." No one's gonna
Or
notice.
I made it and I'm not gonna shit myself because I'm so excited.
I mean, I have never been that excited, but I'm sure there's people who've been so excited they just, you know, poop their pants.
I mean,
I mean,
it's possible. If they sell rubbers at a strip joint, I mean, you know, it's possible. That's all I'm saying.
well, I'm trying to remember the guy who, oh my God, he's the weatherman from the Today Show.
Wilford Brimley? No, that's not his name.
No. He's the.
Wouldn't that be awesome though if he started doing the fucking the weather? I mean, if he was alive again and he started doing the weather for somebody.
So Al Roker from the Today Show.
That was close.
Yeah, he got gastric bypass surgery, and then he was at the White House, and he was new to the whole gastric bypass surgery that he didn't realize that, like, that he can just poo, so he shit his pants at the White House.
I mean, if
Before
you're gonna
going
shit
to
your
the-
pants anyplace, that's the place to do it. I'm sure they have a large closet of extra pants.
Hey, yeah, and gold toilets.
I mean, it's conductive.
Yeah. So I don't know. So I think it. Yeah. So to the adults who did that, great job hiding it. to the kid who did it, yeah, you should have told your folks. You should have told your parents.
Yeah,
You should let them know.
You should, yeah, you speak up. Definitely speak up.
Yeah. Scooper out.
But yeah, from all other accounts, especially from
Yes.
friends,
Yes.
it seemed that everybody had a successful weekend there at the old under construction Javits Center. I don't know if it still is. It's the joke though.
Right.
It's always
Right.
under construction. I don't. You know, New
Based
York's
on-
one of those places, Francis, that, you know, all the due respect, but it's just not one of those places I have any desire to visit.
I went when I was a teenager because I had family who lived out there, and it's just crowded.
It's too
Like it's
It's
just
just-
a crowded
to me.
place.
It just seems too people-y, and
It is.
And I figure if I made eye contact with somebody and I said good morning, their response would be "fuck you."
That is what they're known for.
And
They're known for being abrasive.
I just no. It's not. That's not the type of vibe I like to. And apparently, maybe it's fun for some people. That lifestyle, that big city and buildings and no place to park and no place to put your car, and there's no point in having a car because you just take taxis everywhere and you walk
Subway, yeah.
in the subways, and unless there's like buskers at every, you know, like stereotypical buskers at every single place and they're playing really good music, or there's like a David Blaine motherfucker or something like that, like,
You want street magic? Yeah.
I'm just saying.
All right.
I'm just
that's all
saying.
good.
Maybe the dude with
Yeah.
the 3 cards.
Yeah.
pick a card,
Oh,
pick a
three-card
card,
bonnet.
pick a
Yeah.
card. Or like, I don't know, the
Get your
bucket,
fake
the
Rolex,
bucket,
your
the
fake.
bucket drum.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Of course, you're gonna have all that in New York. It's fine. I mean, I was there pre 9/11, so it was a different vibe. I'm sure the vibe of it now since then has been very different.
Sure.
But yeah. So I mean, I got So I don't know, but I don't have any desire to go back to New York. I have no. I haven't been there in decades. I'm just like I don't care, but I don't have any like itch to go to New York.
I want to see New York Comic Con, just like I want to see all the big city, all the big city Comic Cons. But the thing is that even if there was some free ride that we were offered or I was offered to go to the show, whether it be through our connections, our other connections, or those other connections.
Yes.
Unless those connections came with a hotel, that would do me in right away.
Well, here's the thing. There's enough people that went this year where I'm like,
Right.
I'm sure if planned properly, you could share, I mean,
Sure.
Just like the way that you and myself and Shelly would, split 3 ways. Someone gets the couch, but like split 3 ways, you can get a pretty decent hotel room in New York. Or know someone in Jersey, or know somebody like kind of right outside that you
Right.
can kind of commute back and forth, I guess. But yeah, I for the Comic-Con, I think it's worth going. I think it's worth going for that for sure, because it's second or third biggest next to Salt Lake City and San Diego.
Which, Points of Interest has had, press at Salt Lake a couple times early in its
In its infancy.
in its infancy. Yeah. They were like, you want to come out here? Please. How many passes do you want? We'll give you 15.
Yeah, and now it's like the biggest things in sliced bread. It's like, oh, great.
Yeah.
Everyone loves Salt Lake.
I just wonder. I wonder about that show. It's definitely a show I'd like to check out at some point. It's pretty low on the list, just because there's nothing to do in Utah. I mean, hiking, yes, 4-wheeling,
A lot of hiking.
sure,
Yeah.
but you can't. If you're not a Mormon, you can't go into any of the, Mormon things there.
Yeah, you can.
Some stuff you can.
Yeah. I mean, I've been to the city, the Mormon center where the tabernacle is.
Right.
I've been there.
If you are interested in anybody there, say you're out someplace and you see somebody that tickles your fancy, you can't go spit raps at them because unless you're
Everyone's Mormon.
I'm just talking shit. I'm just talking
Sister! Shit. Oh, Sister Mary. Oh, so good to see you. Will you be there at the apple picking ball later on this week?
Speaking of apple picking, protect kayfabe. I saw a sign the other day that said, "Join us for traditional Halloween games."
Yes.
And I'm in puzzlement still, because the only traditional Halloween game that I can think of legitimately is bobbing for apples.
Right. Bobbing for apples.
What other Halloween game, dink dink, is there? Trick or treating, to me, is the ultimate Halloween game.
Right. I think corn mazes. Corn mazes are.
Sure. But you need a cornfield in which to have a corn maze.
I don't know. Throwing daggers at a person rotating on a wheel.
That's
I guess.
that's some David Blaine shit. That's not Halloween, unless it's real daggers and a real person you're willing to sacrifice.
Yeah. Yeah, no, sure. Yeah, you're throwing real daggers at a real person.
I mean, like,
you know,
setting cars on fire.
that's
Like,
a Halloween game. Yeah.
I think that's a Halloween game. I mean, they did it for. I think they still do it in Detroit the night before Halloween. They call it Devil's Night.
Ooh, Devil's Night. Yeah. Very scary.
I mean,
anyway, so why did you have to protect kayfabe for that, though? That's interesting.
If you really thought about it, Francis, you could fucking figure it out. Okay. But I was very puzzled. I was very puzzled by traditional Halloween games. I don't know, like I said, outside of bobbing for apples.
Probably haunted houses. It's not a game, but it's like
but this was Halloween. Like, this wasn't at a cornfield. This wasn't at a house. This was like
find the
a place. This was a place of business.
Oh,
so I'm just
razor blade in a thing. I don't know.
Like one parent, one time in '82, found a fucking razor, and I think it was their fucking like their brother or sister, like an uncle to it, the kid that that did it, and every parent used that excuse from then on out to go through their kids' candy and pick out all the shit that they like the most.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe it's. Yeah, you're right. Like some. Yeah.
If I was a parent and I was going through the kids' fucking candy, they would have no Snickers. They would come home with a pillowcase full of Snickers, and they would leave with no Snickers. Like, nope, there's razor blades and Snickers. Yum, 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 yum. I can eat them.
It's like, sorry,
I've got dad teeth.
There's Rohypnol in these bag of M&Ms. Right. I don't want you to.
These are all green M&Ms. You don't like the green M&Ms. They're all blue M&Ms. These will give you cancer.
Oh God. Anyway, God. Wow, that brings me back. Well, no, because I went to this.
Didn't they get rid of brown M&Ms to give us blue?
No, brown still exists.
Okay,
but no, I went to this when I used to go to a church where the most innocent of young people. I was part of a youth group there, and one of the girl that I was interested in at this church, which now that I think about it, I'm beginning to realize I have a type. Now that I'm remembering this girl, like, man, do I have a type? But she had this little giggly thing about, even though she was she was an adult, but she still was very innocent. But she had this thing about how every M&M meant something. Like, oh, the blue meant this. The blue meant you're horny, and the green meant you're horny, and the blue meant you're like, this or whatever. Like every M&M had some type of thing attached to it. So it's funny that that you bring that up, because man, that brings me back to the innocent days of young girls who think that M&Ms have otherworldly powers.
Suggestive powers.
Yeah.
Melt in your mouth.
Yeah.
Giggity.
Call me an M&M. Anyway.
Yeah. Hopefully not with. They never made a white M&M. Luckily.
They did the mystery flavor M&Ms. I think, right? No. You're right. No, maybe. I feel like they did. I totally feel like they made a white M&M.
Did they make a peroxide M&M?
Was that maybe?
I'm trying to make a Marshall Mathers joke, and it's not working.
God.
It's not working.
It wrapped. Yeah, it definitely. Yeah. I love it. Okay, so I actually typed white M&M as an M&M the rapper, and I read just M&M as in the candy. Oops.
Well, it's because we were talking about them. That's why.
Yeah.
It's one of those, not Freudian slips, but.
No, it's me being dumb. But yeah, it's a custom one that you can get at the M&M store. Oh. It's not, you don't get them in the regular bag. You can just get them as a custom color.
Well, a custom color could be cool. Let's look at the old list here. Shit on the floor, Savanna. Oh, hey. So we talked about a few weeks ago.
Yes.
That's the worst fucking transition ever.
That was awful. But go on.
A few weeks ago, we talked about they're going to make a retro Atari 2600. They're bringing it back, a 10-in-1 cartridge, coming this holiday season for $180 or something like that.
Yeah.
It's the 2600 with HDMI. That's pretty awesome. Well, it makes it even a little bit more cool, and I don't have the name of the game, so hopefully Francis does. But Atari is releasing a brand new game for the Atari 2600, I think for the 50th anniversary. It was a game that was in development during the original run of the 2600. So we're looking in the early 80s. Someone got around to finishing this game. It's called
Mr. Run and Jump.
No.
Oh, that's what it says here. It says a company called Atari is releasing a brand new 2600 cartridge this year, and the game that they are showing is Mr. Run and Jump.
Okay, we'll talk about that for a second while I look for...
So Mr. Run and Jump is coming to the 2600 for $60. No one's going to pay $60 for this game. I don't care how new it is. No one's going to pay $60 for a stupid 2600 Atari game. It is the same. I guess it's also going to go out on PCs and other major consoles, but I guess they're also making it for the 2600, which I think is really dumb. But that seems to be the game that that is being made for the...
See, I saw another one that was called Save something.
The Last Dance. Save...
Sarah Silverman.
Save... You keep saying Save Sarah Silverman.
Because it has like save... It's save in a lady's name.
Okay, I'm going to see Save...
Atari. This is fucking riveting audio.
Save Mary gets first physical cartridge release. So the name of the game is Save Mary.
There you go.
This is from a week ago. Let's see. Save Mary. This fantastic. Blah, 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 blah. So it's a limited edition game. I don't know if it's $60. Oh God, it is sold out. You cannot buy it anymore.
Save Mary is an Atari 2600 action game that revolves around creating platforms to save Mary.
Oh. Well, have fun. For a game that you can't get because it's sold out everywhere.
Well, so first, another victim of the 1983 game crash. So that's when it was in development. And
the 83, wow.
E.T. after the huge failure of the E.T. Atari 2600 game.
Yes.
Apparently, all the games that were in development went to shit at that point, and this was one of the games that went to shit. So it's coming out finally, and it's sold out already. Apparently, I saw the same website. So we'll never see it anyway.
Yeah, and this is not just the same. It's from the Atari.com.
Yeah, it's official, which I imagine
it's an official website.
It would plug into your brand new retro mini 2600. It's not a mini.
I just want to know if
it's not a mini.
I just want to know if it is full size. But I just want to know if it'll play on my 7800 because I mean it's still in a box. I should take that box out and just be like, here, this thing actually exists. I'm not just making it up. Like I actually own.
I remember it. I was more. I had friends that had a 26 and a 52. I was more familiar with the 26, but yeah, I was aware of the 78. It was just later.
Yeah, I should, or if anything, I should just get the ET game and be like, look, I have history right here. I have the ET game.
That was a really fun documentary. There wasn't a lot of meat to that documentary, but it was a fun watch.
I played that game so many times, and it's awful. Mm-hmm. Like I did not understand it. I had no idea how it worked.
E.T. falls into a pit. E.T. jumps out of a pit. That's the whole game.
To like jump, his neck would extend, and he'd like fly upward.
Yeah,
and then you can move him a little bit, and then his neck, like he only could fly for so long, and then his neck would shrink, and then he'd fall.
Yep.
It's like, oh, well, this is dumb. I don't even know where I'm going.
Exactly.
I don't know what this is.
I mean, but you can say that about a lot of Atari games. I mean, like, I didn't even know there was an end to Pitfall. I thought you just played until you died because everything seemed to be the same. I mean, yeah, there were levels, but they were slight variations of the same thing. I mean, granted, for what it was.
Yeah,
it was
I mean, like,
awesome. But
yeah, I played Asteroids on there. There's no end level to Asteroids. You just blow up asteroids, and the asteroids get bigger, and there's more of them, and you have to just fly around and survive.
Yeah. So I mean, like, but it was highly entertaining back in the day. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. In the early 80s, yeah, totally.
What else I found fairly interesting, and we'll get out of here after this. We're giving a little extra juice since we didn't do any juice last week, and I got something to tell you. That I didn't tell you before. Okay. We could tell everybody. You told me what I found very interesting right before we started is that Netflix is going to do a brick and mortar, like a come to our Netflix store and rent some shit or buy some shit. I find that fascinating.
It's working for Amazon. Amazon has physical stores, and it's working. Like, people go to those physical stores. People go to Amazon Fresh, which is their grocery store, because it's the one where you just go in, pick up stuff, walk out, right? So that's cool, in big air quotes, dink dink. Like, oh, I get to.
I got my first.
With me. Yay!
I got my first experience with that kind of shopping experience. It was at a sporting event of all places, or like a concert or something like that. It was, there were no attendants there. And there were a couple people there just to kind of like, this is how you do this. Obviously, it was brand new. And yeah, I selected everything I wanted. I just put it on a little tray underneath this camera. Not even a tray. It was just a place. And it just popped up on screen. This is how much you owe. I was like, holy shit. That's really awesome.
Yeah. Like,
there was no barcode scanning. You just put everything in the center of this little thing, and it was just like, bing, bing, bing. There you go. Here's the 3 items. Yeah. It was cool. It was really cool. I don't have a lot else to say about that. It was just...
I don't know, but I mean, Netflix is kind of like, I guess they're just going to let you buy a movie. I mean, which is good, because there's no more... There's going to be very few places physically where you can buy movies and stuff.
Well, Best Buy this past week just announced that they're going to cease physical media sales January 1st.
And, as well as Target. So Target as well is doing the same thing, yeah.
Well, what I found more fascinating about that statement was not that they were going to stop physical sales, is that people actually still went to Best Buy to buy physical media.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what else? I guess you could buy TVs. I mean, soon you're just gonna be able to buy appliances from that place. Like, that's all you're gonna...
We could do a whole fucking episode on the rise and fall of different electronic stores.
Well, they're reopening freaking Toys R Us.
I saw that.
Toys R Us is coming back.
I saw it, and if we get one here, you can bet your bottom dollar. I haven't said that. I don't think I've ever said that. But you can bet that I will be submitting some sort of like let me in press style. I'm important. You should let me in.
You could probably just go in as a customer.
No, but wouldn't it be cooler if I can have like a press card with Jeffrey on it?
I mean, yes. But it's insane that like Toys R Us, which was like, oh, by the way, we are bankrupt and we need to close every store in existence.
Well, they started reopening some stores. I think some Canadian stores stayed open for a while, and then they started popping up in like May DNF, not May DNF. Yeah, I think it was. No, that doesn't even exist anymore. In one of the big anchor stores in malls, they started to appear inside the store within a store, but they weren't Toys R Us of old. It was all knockoff toys of stuff you would want. Instead of Transformers, it would be like Reformers.
Right, it's not even GoBots. It's just
They're
a
just
whole brand.
they're just Goes.
Yeah, some weird Chinese knockoff.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, sometimes a Chinese knockoff is great, but sometimes they're Reformers. But it'd be great to have a real brick and mortar Toys R Us. That was one of my favorite things, having a Toys R Us in the neighborhood in which I grew up in the later teen years anyway. And every paycheck, Friday, going over to the Toys R Us just to see what's there. I'm like, I can afford to get one thing. Let's find something. I have one of the best Transformers I've ever purchased was at a Toys R Us. The most posable toy I've ever purchased was at a Toys R Us. So I'm all for Toys R Us coming back. I'm a Toys R Us kid for life.
Your Toys R Us? Yeah, I mean, I get it. I 100% get it. I too, I guess, am one as well. I mean, I used to go for the games, for the video games there, and then So to see it come back in a weird way, it's like I'm glad that the brand refuses to die. And hey, let's bring back Jeffrey, the giraffe. Bring him back as a mascot. I mean, we've kind of neglected mascots for a while. Let's bring back mascots.
I mean, part of me says yes, and the other half of me that's terrified of mascots is like, no, it's fine that they're gone. But Jeffrey's pretty rad.
Yeah, Jeffrey's rad.
Jeffrey's like Grimace. Man, you can't get rid of either one of them. I think that was everything. I thought there was something else I wanted to talk about.
I don't know. You said there was something that you were going to announce.
Oh, yeah. All right. So I anyway, try really, really hard not to bring up my real life work situation here, because when I got burned a few years ago. And the other thing is, it's the escape, right? Starting next week, my job is switching to a 4 10-hour shifts.
Oh.
Which means nothing to nobody here. Except I'll be getting home about the time that Francis and I usually start our warm-up talk.
Oh, okay.
I'm guessing. We'll see. I'll have more information on Monday. Next Monday. Well, 2 weeks from now. Anyway. So the start time, we've been slowly, we've always said it's 7:30-ish Mountain Time, and it's really become 7:45-ish Mountain Time. I think that's going to be pretty regular, or maybe even 8. We'll see, because I have a later start time now. The reason why it's 9 o'clock here in Denver, and the reason why we're 9:15, the reason why we usually stop around this time is because I have to be up in 6 hours. So, that sucks. Having an earlier or a later start time means that we can do this a little bit later, but I want everybody to know that it might, our start time might shift a little bit.
Okay.
Because Francis and I have to do our little warm-up talk. Otherwise, we don't sound like ourselves. Our dulcet tones aren't warmed up and ready to fill your ear holes with whatever we fill your ear holes with.
Exactly. I agree.
So, yeah, just a heads up for everybody. But with that all said, it's 9:15 here in the 303. I got to be up in 6 hours, almost exactly. So, we're ending this. So, Francis, tell everybody where they can find you.
At AK the other guy. I guess I'm gonna eventually leave Twitter at some point, apparently. It just keeps getting weirder and weirder. But supergeekedup.com for our live improv show tomorrow. I don't know who the guest is, but we have guests. We have a fun time, always fun. And yay, Ginger! Glad you're here. Glad you get to play with the toys and the trucks, the cars and the trucks when you're at the Toys R Us.
Yes, hopefully.
Have fun doing that. Pressing the buttons.
Hopefully, we
That'll be
all
fun.
get a new Toys R Us in our respective cities before the year's end. That'd be pretty rad.
That's it.
That's it.
Josh, where can they find you?
You can find me at 303_ninja on the Twitters, 303ninja on the Instagram. You can call, text, voicemail, call into the show if my phone was charged enough to answer or anything. I have a battery issue. You can do that. 314-764-7631. You can leave a voicemail. We'll play it on air and play it for the folks. Again, if my battery's charged up enough. If, say, you don't want to do that, you can email us at thepoipodcast@gmail.com. You find us there. You can send us a message on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, here on the YouTubes or Twitch. Just look up POI Podcast. We're here. We're here every Tuesday. 7:45-ish or later. Going forward, I don't know. 10 years, Francis, doing podcasting, and I have yet to figure out an ending.
It's okay.
It's okay. We're done. We're out of here.